good morning and wishing you all a very happy new year. First day of 2025 and we're right here bright and early. I'm not sure whether we can say bright.
I was just raising my hand.
In all honesty, I don't think we're bright, but definitely work calls, and we're right here because the Indian markets have something that have done rather well for us over the last few years, and this year here's hoping it's going to be bigger, better and brighter, at least for wealth creation. Last year, we managed to inch up by 8% for the Nifty. Pales in comparison, of course, with what happened across the globe, but we'll take that with both hands. In the month of December, however, there was a bit of a red tick that we saw. In fact, the last trading session of the year was pretty much flat. We managed to, hit a 4-week, low when it comes to the Nifty IT pack. But pharma is something that has been doing well, so the defense is really coming to save the market at one end. 2-month high is what we saw as far as Nifty Pharma is concerned. The FI outflows, they continue. But well, guess what? It's a DI money that has been supporting us, and that's expected to play out in 2025 as well. Lots of cues really to watch out for this year, right from a new administration in the United States to the fact that there is going to be, of course, budget which will be there in the next 1 month. And all of that is whether it's enough to spur consumption or not is, of course, the big thing to watch out for. But Aisha can't complain much. I mean, it's the first day of the year, so the only thing is that we are the only ones working today.
Yeah, we are, and perhaps the only world market other than Pakistan which is currently open. So our annual crib with the regulator continues. It doesn't change at all. We understand their logic, but it is what it is. I mean, who works in Jan 1st? But yeah. Back to work. And while yesterday, of course, the volumes were a little lower, perhaps today could be a little bit better. While yes, sure, there was that FI selling which played out yesterday and DI buying. And mind you, the quantum was nothing really less. It was in excess of 4,000 of a selling by the FIIs and 3,000 odd crore rupees of buying from DIIs. Having said that, today perhaps the volume figure and the count will be a little bit better, because I'm sure there will be that entire crowd who would want to beat the rest of the jing bang when it comes back to trade full blown tomorrow, and people perhaps would start taking trades come today itself. So that said, yes, throwing back on the year gone by, while you don't have anything to go by in terms of global cues today, we're going to be charting our own course. But have to say that the global markets, and especially led by US, they've managed to outperform. And how? We're just looking at the count for the S&P and just the quarterly performance from the first quarter of a 10.25% gain to Q4, when it also held out by about 2%. Pretty much every quarter it's managed to beat most of the world markets. So let's see whether that kind of move from at least the US equities continues to replicate or not. A lot remains, of course, on the kind of dollar strength. But yeah, in the year gone by, if you thought it was Apple alone which gave a 30% return over the year, no, it was hands down Nvidia with that 171% surge. And yeah, in comparison to what some of the other markets did, like a Taiwan which held out by about 29%, Australia 8.5%, China CSI as well made a comeback of about almost 15%, and even HK held out by 18%. India clearly sort of pales in comparison, and I'm not even getting into some of the individual stock performers there. So yeah, here's hoping that, Snehi, this month perhaps could be that big trigger, considering lots lined up for the month of January, and maybe we could inch up higher.
Absolutely, lots lined up in terms of events as well as what changes in the month of January for the markets, for the regulators as well. Lots to watch out for. In fact, when you take a look at the expiry dates now, about a month or so ago, the exchanges had announced that they are shifting the expiry dates of mid-cap, Fin Nifty and a couple other indices to the last Thursday of the month. So that is going to come in line with your Nifty. Nifty Bank also now being shifted to Thursday. So lots to watch out for on that front. The auto sector is going to particularly be in focus today because A, you have the auto sales numbers coming in, and January B is also going to be the month wherein these auto companies will start undertaking the price hikes that they have announced over the last couple of weeks. The TCS on luxury goods over 10 lakh rupees will now come into play as well. So that's also something to watch out for. You also have new deposit withdrawal rules by the RBI that have just been announced yesterday. So that's also going to be something important to watch out for.
in terms of how it pans out for the market also going ahead. Multi-factor authentication has now been made mandatory when it comes to GST. So that's an extra step of security. So sounds like a positive update on the GST front. Now when it comes to UPI payments, now some news flow on this front as well, because the transaction limit has been upped to 10,000 on UPI. So that's going to make life easy for a lot of people who use UPI, and the convenience is going to become increased, if we could call it that. On the telecom front, then the DOT has notified the right-of-way rules, and that's going to be kicking in with effect from the month of January as well. So lots to watch out for in terms of changes across sectors, across departments. And changes from 1st of Jan itself that will be kicking in today. You have farmers that will be eligible for loans up to 2 lakh rupees without any guarantee. So that's a big change coming in that will be kicking in today. And you also have LPG and ATF prices that are expected to be adjusted. Some formal announcement on this front will also be awaited, but this is what the street is largely expecting. So lots is going to be in focus, especially from the month of Jan, and especially the changes that will be kicking in today.
Yeah, absolutely. But the fact that Jan seasonality is something which has been favoring the Bears versus the Bulls is something that one needs to watch out for. Last 3 series, we have lost almost 8 to 10%. And if you go by history, January 7 out of 10 times is in the red. So let's see whether we are able to break that streak and change history or not. But for today, of course, we're also going to watch out for the auto sales data, which will come in today. The expectation is that of a bit of a recovery, given the fact that discounts were on the higher side this month. Snehi was just talking about how price hikes are going to come into effect this month. So just ahead of that, maybe some pre-buying is what really happened. But